Can you really talk to animals? I'm going to try it out on Tula and we can all see, does it work or not? I feel that Tula and I, we have a pretty good connection. I really think there's a whole lot more going on in her head in terms of emotions, feelings, etc. than a whole lot of people give her credit for. And I just think in general with animals, our society has evolved. It's been a whole lot easier to say they don't experience much, they don't feel much, they don't have any real valid emotions. Then we can justify things like factory farms, etc. There really is a big range of views out there. On one end, you can have some of these really conservative scientists, and they'll give the example of certain dog behaviors, i.e. a mother being nurturing. They say that's related to the production of a hormone called oxytocin. The mother produces oxytocin. She's there to nurture and attach to her puppies, but in particular, they claim it's the oxytocin, and they're doing that out of biological survival. We want those puppies to grow so the breed continues. They say that's not really an example of love and attachment. Personally, I wouldn't agree with that statement. Well, you can look at Tula here as an example. This is her favorite little stuffy. This is Lamb Chop. She loves little Lamb Chop. Nice. Oh, Lamb Chop. Nice poodle. Nice Lamb Chop. Oh. I mean, Tula was spayed as a puppy. She never had puppies, but she is like such a nurturing dog. And guess what? She doesn't have oxytocin being produced. There's a whole new body of research coming out. One neuroscientist by the name of Jack Panskip, he's shown that our animals have an area of the brain called the PAG, or periaqueductal ductal gray, which is responsible for basic emotions. He's saying our animals are experiencing joy, anger, grief, fear, separation anxiety, the drive to nurture, like nurture little Lamb Chop, the drive to care for their little puppies. Honestly, and science can be slow to catch up. Growing up, I grew up with animals. I was this introverted farm kid. I had a pretty big connection to many of the animals. I did feel at times, pretty early on, that I was able to have some more than just a bond with those animals. Like there was a bit of a connection there. And when there were certain feelings being experienced by them, I was able to have a sense of, really, what they were feeling. But can you talk to animals? I think some people can. There was a really interesting article in pethelpful.com, and in it the author detailed a 10-step plan for you to be able to communicate with your dog. So I want to try this on Tula. Step 1. Step 1 involves bringing your dog into a quiet room, a quiet space where they're going to be comfortable. This is Tula's favorite chair, where she hangs out a lot. So I'm thinking if I'm going to be able to have a chance to talk to her, this is going to be it. Step 2, I want you to be sitting down somewhere beside your dog. Good girl. I'm sitting here on the floor. Tula's up in her favorite chair. I also want you to be able to see me in the camera. So ideally you're just sitting on the couch, sitting somewhere where your dog is super comfortable and you're beside them. Step number 3, I want you to be petting your dog, kind of a gentle, loving way. We want to get them really comfortable. Tula really loves these little treats. This is Mighty Wolf. And I want her to be really comfortable and happy and feeling all secure. There. Good girl. Yes. Oh, yes. Now you're comfortable. I don't want her weirded out with the camera. Oh. Step number 4. You're going to find one short word that you're going to use over and over again. Something that you may be routinely say to your dog, you're going to repeating that again and again. For Tula, the phrase for me is going to be pretty easy. It's good girl. It's a word I'll say a lot to her. She associates it with something very positive. So she hears me saying it over and over again. I know it's going to really settle her. While you're saying that phrase, for me saying the word good girl, also be petting your dog. Good girl. After about 10 or 20 times of repeating that rhythmic phrase, whatever it is for you, good girl, good girl, good girl. Then you're just going to be quiet. Good girl. Step number 6. Then I want you to form some type of idea of what you want your dog to do with a picture in your mind. So for me, for instance, what I want Tula to do, I want her to lick my hand. So I got my eyes closed. I'm going to visualize Tula licking my hand. Step 7, step 8, that's just being much more detailed in terms of visualizing what you want your dog to do. So step 7, this could be you being more specific. It's not just I want Tula to lick my hand. I want Tula after, I'm going to give her a good little scratch. And guess what? Then I'm going to give her a little treat. I'm going to visualize all of that. Step 8, maybe you've never done visualization before. For a lot of us, I've never really done much of it. It's hard. So then maybe just, form like a picture in your mind, or like just a picture frame around, exactly what you're wanting to do. It's regardless, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're just trying to get you to visualize what you want your dog to do, and where you're really focused and thinking about them in a real positive way. You've repeated that rhythmic phrase, your eyes are closed, and you're just really thinking about it. Step 9, it gets a bit more woo-woo. It's you envisioning this thought that you've got. Just imagine that thought, whatever you visualized, that it's coming out in between your eyes. They call that the third eye. So imagine it sort of floating out here. Then you repeat that phrase one more time, like, good girl, Tula, good girl. And then visualize that same thought, that you visualize that going up in between, in between your dog's eyes, in between where Tula's third eye might be located. And then you're just there thinking like, okay, she's got that thought. Is she then gonna go ahead and lick my hand? Let's try it and see. Good girl, Tula. Good girl, Tula. Step number 10, what the author then suggests is you keep going through this process, assuming your dog hasn't done what you're hoping they're going to do, until either it happens or they decide to get up and leave. I'm just not into the mood. So I've got that one more time. I've kind of visualized what I'm wanting Tula to do. Apparently Tula doesn't want to do that. I really want her to lick my hand. Good girl, Tula. Funny dog. I don't know if that was good fortune or not. Good girl. But she did lick my hand. So there was my attempt at Tula communication. I'd love for you guys to go ahead, go through those steps, try that on your own dog and or your own cat. And if you find you're actually seeing some success, I'd love to hear about it. Thanks so much for watching this edition of Veterinary Secrets. Click up there to subscribe, hit the bell to sign up for notifications. Then you click that link directly in the box below. I can send you a copy of my free book.